I thank you for tuning in to The Solution Is You. I hope you guys are doing well. I do appreciate you for listening to my channel. I hope that you do get some type of value from my messages. And I would like to ask, have you taken time out of your busy schedule to help someone other than yourself? I know we each have responsibilities and things that we are accountable for. But it is also important that we think of others and of the impact that we have on so many individuals who count on us on a daily basis. Now, I am constantly evolving. There's a lot of things that I have on my list that I'm looking to improve on, and I hope that you are doing the same. None of us have the magic potion for being the most successful person there is, but the only thing that we do have is our will and our ability to exhibit effort to become the best person that we could possibly be. And we need to exercise this on a daily basis. We have individuals who are watching us at all times. This includes our children. This includes people that you may supervise in a professional environment. It's very important that we understand that these eyes are on us and that we need to carry ourselves appropriately at all times. So, how many of you guys are taking life serious? I want you to really think about this. How many of you guys are really setting aside time out of your day, separating yourself from all of the commotion, turning the TV off or putting your phone to the side, and sitting down in silence? It's really good to have a moment of silence to where you can really concentrate and focus on where you started in life, where you currently are, and where you would like to go with whatever you are trying to accomplish. Silence is very important. Concentrating on yourself is very important. And whenever you want to accomplish anything, most times it starts with focusing on where you currently are in life. I remember a time in my life, a major time, in which it felt as if I was stuck in neutral, not really going forward, but not going backwards. And at this particular time, I didn't realize that I was in neutral. And the reason why I did not realize this is because although I maintained a 9 to 5 job, although I had all of my bills paid, I was still spending a portion of my time with other individuals who were not being progressive. And these are individuals who would get into doing the same things every day, not doing anything other than what they would do every single day. So, by me hanging around these individuals on a regular basis, this really rubs off on you because you are who you hang around. And so there was a number of other events that kind of led me to really reflect on myself at that time. This was years ago. And I really had to reflect. I mean, something got so serious that I really had to reflect on where do I really want to go from at this point? Where do I really want to go from here? When you are trying to find out who you are and what you're made of and what you would like to do in life, it's very important that you ask very specific questions of yourself. So I had to ask myself, what is it that I would like to do or accomplish? And in the past, when I was very successful, what did I do to get me to that point? When I failed, what did I do to cause me to fail? You have to ask yourself very specific questions in order to get to the root cause of something. So, just like you can hang around other individuals and not make any progress within your life, this can also happen if you don't surround yourself with anyone who can put you in a better position. So, if you are an individual who has a fear on others passing judgment on you based on your idea that you are not where you need to be, then this could be something that could be up to your detriment. In order to move forward, a lot of times you have to eat what you haven't accomplished and you have to plan to make a change. Now, a lot of us, we have a fear of failure. So there's a lot of fear of the unknown. No, life is full of challenges, and I mean there's no way to escape the challenges that life presents. The possibility of failure is no excuse not to try at all. And actually failure sets you up for success as long as you learn from your failures. Now, when you repeat your failures, then that's when you're setting yourself up for destruction. But if you are willing to understand what it is that you failed at, take note of it, and work vigorously to not fall in those traps again, then failure is a part of success. So, the topic for today is personal accountability. This is a huge topic. How many of us are holding ourselves accountable? How many of us believe in personal accountability? Now, remember growing up, and when I would go to the dinner table, prior to eating, I was taught to wash my hands. There was a certain structure that surrounded mealtime. So before you ate, you would have to wash your hands. When you sat to the table, you would have to say grace. When you ate, especially vegetables, you would have to eat vegetables before you had dessert or before you could drink anything, especially if you had juice or soda. Now you have to ask yourself, why is this? Why is it that there's this structure involved? Why can't individuals just do what they want, drink what they want, or decide not to wash hands and just go straight to eating? There's a reason why this series of events exists. First, washing your hands shows good hygiene. Second, saying blessing over your food is basically exhibiting grace and appreciation for the mere fact that you even have food to eat. And third is just the fact that if you drink while you're eating, then that interferes with your appetite. So, this type of structure typically should take place at an early age because there's a lot of life lessons that are learned. And when you learn these life lessons at an early age, when you become older, it strengthens your accountability factor. Now, let's say you just ate you a bag of chips and you're in your room at your home and your mouth is really dry. A week and a half ago or so, you bought you a 40 pack of bottled water. And you go into the kitchen to the area where you store your water and you attempt to get you a bottled water, but then you find that the entire 40 pack of water, all that's left is just the long wrapper. No water. Doesn't that just heat you up? Accountability. If you drink it, replace it. A lot of us, when we think no one is looking, we believe that we can get away with something, but not understanding that in the long term, these habits catch up with us. Whenever you exude certain types of behaviors, especially over a long period of time, there's always a tab to be paid at some point. Public awareness. The way we dress has a lot to do with the way that we are viewed. Although stereotyping should not be admitted at any point, but let's just be honest. It may not be called stereotyping, but profiling an individual can be a good and bad thing. A lot of times we are profiled and not even realizing it. We are profiled when we apply for a job. You're profiled while you are doing a job. You are profiled when you fill out a credit application. You are profiled when you encounter with the police. You are profiled when you're going on a date. There are many different situations in which our behaviors and the way we dress are considered when assessing our character. The way we dress has a huge impact on the way we interact with individuals, and it reflects on what we think about ourselves. It always amazes me at the number of individuals who say that the way you dress isn't a big deal and how you dress should not be of any concern to anyone other than the person dressing themselves. This explanation is so far from the truth, you couldn't see it with a telescope. Any person with sense knows that you are the way you dress. You think the way that you dress. So if you are dressed in a suit, it makes you feel a certain way. If you are dressed for success, it makes you feel as if you're successful. If you are dressed comfortably, it makes you feel very relaxed. If you are dressed athletically, then maybe you could go out and bust out a few push ups and some sit ups. The bottom line is the way that you dress has a great impact on the way that you view yourself and the way that others view you. We live in a society today where nothing matters. And a lot of time these talking points comes from a standpoint of laziness. There's never any real benefit that comes from these individuals speaking the nothing matters talk. As a matter of fact, what's not brought to the attention most of the time is that a lot of these individuals that believe nothing matters and that you should not go out of your way to ensure that you're looking your best at all times and considering other people in the way they view you. A lot of these types of individuals have severe depression down the road, and that's something that is never brought to the forefront. A lot of the individuals who believe that they can live life as they choose and live carelessly, they have serious regrets and a lot of times possible psychological issues, as time progresses, because life wasn't made for us to live however we choose to live. As far as freedom, it's a privilege and not a necessity. A lot of us are acting as if freedom is a necessity. We're practicing freedom as if it's a necessity. Freedom is a privilege, and freedom is a benefit of putting in work. When you put in work, you get to enjoy the benefits of freedom. Just solely enjoying yourself without a care in the world, that's not the way that the world was designed to operate. When you understand your purpose and you are using your purpose to enrich the lives of yourself and others, and then you sprinkle in freedom, then that's when you really start to understand the benefit of the fruits of your labor and enjoying those. Most individuals are confused because usually when you hear about individuals pushing freedom and that they want to do whatever it is that they want to do when they want to do it, usually it surrounds an entertainment environment. Remember, we live in a capitalistic society, so someone is always getting paid off of the backs of someone else. So just because someone is pushing something doesn't necessarily mean it's out the pure interest of whatever it is. There's always something to be gained, whether it's money or power. So that's why it's important to understand yourself and your reason for existing and your duty while you are here. Effective communication. Communicating effectively has a huge impact on the way that you're viewed, and the way that you communicate sets the tone on who you are and how you will be treated. Man, I cannot express how huge effective communication is. So let's just take the workforce, for example. When you are interviewing for a particular position, you have to understand that you have a great deal of power. Not only are you showcasing your talents and your skills and the experience that you possess, but you should be vetting the experience, the potential skills and things that the employer can offer you as well. You have to be looking at their reputation, their track record of success, and their ability to communicate change while you're at that organization. This is so important. And there are so many individuals that I've seen over time that do not exercise the power that they have inside of the workforce. This has a lot to do with accountability. So, once you've established yourself in the interview process, once you get the position, then this is when you go to work. I always say that when you get hired, you should obviously do everything that you sold yourself on when you're in the duty of your job. But you should work to benefit you while you're at that job. Because when you place the focus on yourself and you are trying to increase your skills and you're working to improve your work efforts, everything that you are doing for yourself is going to automatically roll to others. This includes the employer that hired you. So if you get hired and you're on the job and you have a particular field of study that you're in, and you come every day, you bring your A game and you are putting in extra hours and you are showing yourself to be the above average person and you are helping others and you are looking for additional work and you are being very efficient and proficient, then this has no choice but to roll to others, and this activity will be recognized by your employer. This is power. This is accountability. So this allows you to be able to negotiate whatever you want to negotiate. So when it comes down to a raise, you putting in the work and the effort and going beyond the call of duty is going to put you in a position of power. When it comes to suggesting or referring others to that position, this is going to put you in a position of authority and power. Whenever you get into a situation where you may need some time off or you may need to make some sort of a recommendation about something, whether it is good or bad, sometimes things go bad, and sometimes there are some issues with other people that you may work with. Your word is going to carry weight because you have established yourself as a beyond worthy person. The key word is worthy. Now, this does not work if you are an individual who doesn't give a care, not thorough with your work, show up to work when you get ready, possess a bad attitude, generally does not work well with others, reactive and not proactive, or like to boss folks around without putting in any real effort yourself. We have to understand what our worth is and that our worth carries weight and that we provide value and we provide insight, and we have to exercise that value and insight at the appropriate times, especially when negotiating with our employer. This is critical because if you don't understand the power that you have, then it can be exploited by others. So, whenever you are in public, perhaps at the store, practice your communication skills. Practice saying hello, good afternoon, how are you? Are you having a good day? Start a conversation, get to know others. This leads to networking. Networking leads to opportunities. Opportunities lead to relationships, and good relationships may lead to improving your net worth. Family. Accountability within family is very important. This is more along the lines of accountability when it comes to your own personal behavior. One of the most important issues involve child custody and child support. Men should be in control of their attitudes and emotions at all times. Child support is a touchy subject. However, many individuals fall into the traps of child support and child custody daily. Personal accountability plays a great role within child custody and support. There are a lot of emotions and feelings, and you have law enforcement involved and you have the family courts involved. Sometimes things can get overwhelming and darn right confusing. And you really have to have yourself together emotionally and psychologically. At times, family situations can become potentially dangerous. And it is at this time where we need to exercise personal accountability. We need to understand what the situation is, and we have to understand how to respond to it. We have to take time out, a moment of silence perhaps, to think about what move we would like to make. What would be the logical and safe move to make? When we operate without thinking, that's when things start to get really dicey for us. Sometimes it's not about the small play or the immediate play. Sometimes you have to be willing to stick it out and win the battle long term. When we are accountable, we understand this. We are being watched at all times, and our actions have a lot of impact on other people and the way they perceive us. I thank you for listening to me today. Please understand that the solution is you. With that, have a great day.